皆さん、こんにちは。私の名前はラビオスカです。よろしくお願いします。今日、はい、日本語はちょっと忘れましたから、今、英語でもいいでしょう。Hello everyone, my name is Oscar, and today I will be starting Intermediate Japanese 1. If you look on my channel, previously I had started some cram study before the semester started. I didn't get very far in it before the fall semester started, and then we just kind of rolled through it. I got through another 2 semesters of Japanese. I'm now officially done with all of my university Japanese classes. I've now stepped foot into the intermediate Japanese realm, and surprise, surprise, it's a lot more difficult than it was before. So today we're going to start the self-study, and that involves the Quartet 1 book for intermediate Japanese. So Quartet Intermediate Japanese across the 4 language skills is a fairly popular intermediate Japanese book. I have no idea how this is structured. I have no idea exactly what I'm learning, so we're going to figure it out together. How I structure these is I just record myself going through, I make some very minor edits, and then I upload it because I would like this to be a study resource for both my future self and for anybody who's just trying to get started like me. So let's figure this out. Alright, so it looks like each chapter is split into reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And then there's a complementary workbook, but let me look through these first. So, homepage. And you'll see I filled out a couple of these. I looked at this very briefly before I started this and attempted answering some of the questions before getting lost. So these are pre and post reading questions. And then we have the reading. Okay, another reading. All right, then we have the grammar points. As you can see, I got a small head start on the grammar. Let's see. All right, still in reading. Oh, that's a lot of grammar. All right, now we're in the writing. So, okay, it's teaching you writing style, it looks like. Let's see. So before you write, then... Oh, and then this, now we're at speaking. Okay. So some fill in the blanks. Looks like some working with partners. Yep, so some partner talk. And still speaking. Lots of speaking resources, which is always awesome to see in these textbooks. And listening. And I'm assuming it's similar to Genki, where you can just look up these audio files online and find them. Awesome. Well, seems simple enough. All right, so let's check out the reading. So, アニメ映画監督宮崎駿とアニメ英語監督宮崎駿. So this reading will be about Hayao Miyazaki's anime films. Oh, and I see it, and they have each grammar point highlighted throughout the text so you can reference it in the grammar. And yep, there's more. Got it. Okay, so I guess let's do the pre-post questions and give this a read. So, あなたはどんなアニメを見たことがありますか? And I'd already answered this. はい。3年前にたくさんアニメを見るのが好きですけど、最近あんまり見ません. Which translates to yes. 3 years ago, I liked watching a lot of anime, but recently I haven't watched much. Then number 2, 2番. あなたの国で日本のアニメは人気がありますか? Now you'll notice if I ever work ahead in this, I will highlight and write the furigana on top of kanji I forgot. Now, ninki is a kanji that I should have remembered, but it's been a month since I studied Japanese, and so there are some kanji I'm still rough on. This question is asking, in your country, is there popular anime? And I'm from America, so I said, はい。アメリカでたくさん人はいろいろなアニメを見ています. So, in America, there are a lot of people watching various animes. Alright, and this is after the reading, 読んだ後で. Alright, 読んだ前に. ノベル賞. Shou is one of the new kanji in the Quartet series. It means award, so a Nobel Award. ノベル賞を取った人を誰か知っていますか? 何をした人ですか? So this is saying, who do you know that's gotten a Nobel Prize? And this is a grammar point they touch on, but these noun modifying clauses. So you see the hito here, and then Noberu shou o totta hito. So the person who won a Nobel Prize. And then who is it that you know? And then nani o shita hito desu ka? The person that did what. So what did the person do? And then I'd already taken a look at this, so I said Miyazaki-san wa eiga o tsukurimashita. Now, it's a simpler sentence, but I wanted to just answer it. All right, number 2, 2番. あなたの国で尊敬されている人はどんな人ですか? I remember why I didn't answer this. The される form. So, this is a conjugation of suru. There's suru, sareru. Oh, look at that. My Apple Pencil needs a new tip. And there's saseru. Wow. Okay. So this will be something I have to review, is the conjugations, and I know I have a really nice slide from a previous class that talks about it, so I will find that and look through it in my next video. And at the same time, I'll re-answer this question. All right, and now the reading. So, This will be a first read through. It's going to be very rough. As we hit the grammar points, I will scroll down to the grammar and we will review them together. 日本のアニメ映画の監督といえば、やはり宮崎駿だ。So here we have our first grammar point. といえば。Here it is. Okay. So, noun といえば X states the speaker's opinion that X is the first thing that comes to his or her mind when he or she thinks of noun. This structure is also used when the speaker quotes a part of the statement made by their conversation partner in order to bring up a new but related topic. Example, speaking of which, speaking of noun. Okay. So it states the speaker's opinion that X is the first thing that comes to his or her mind, and it's used in order to bring up a new but related topic, speaking of which. And then the example they gave is 夏休みに札幌に行くんだ。札幌といえばやっぱりビールだよね。So, this is saying, as it translates to, over summer break, I will go to Sapporo. This is saying, speaking of Sapporo, great beer. They have great beer, よね. And some other examples they gave. Let's see. 世界 that's the kanji. 世界。世界で人気がある日本料理といえば寿司だろう? Interesting. So these are set up interesting. So I guess this first one is a statement. The second one is a conversation. We'll see what the third one is. So, sensei, minasan. I need to review this kanji. Gaikokugo, I think, yeah. 皆さん、ブラブラ外国語といえば何語だと思いますか？中国語だと思います。私はグリシア語だと思います。So this is the sensei asking if they've heard of any languages and what language comes to mind. And then the students say, I'm thinking of Chinese and I'm thinking of Greek. And then we have 冬休みに温泉に行くんです。いいですね。日本の冬といえばブラブラですね。So these two highlighted kanji I'm going to need to review and add to my Anki deck. I will also go back and talk about those in the future. Also in the future, I will have a computer screen set up so I can actively look these up as we're going through. So let's continue reading. 千と千堀の神隠しは彼の something の中で something に人気がある。これは2003年にアカデミー賞を取った映画だ。アニメに something がある人なら、もののけ姫や隣のトトロも見たことがあるかもしれない。彼のアニメのストーリーにはブラブラのメッサージがあって、大人も教えさせられるものが多い。Wow. So, clearly, I can tell that I haven't studied Japanese in a while because I've forgotten many kanji. My reading is very rough. It's not fluid at all. And my comprehension of this is fairly low. But let's review this second vocabulary and we will call it a day. Second vocabulary is nara. So, X nara Y is used to request or advise Y while stating X as the basis for the request or advice. So it's used to request or advise. Typically, X takes the statement previously made by the conversation partner or the condition he or she is, and the Y speakers is the speaker's request or advice. Okay? Oh, and I see. They have the main grammar point and then the first use, the second use, the third use, and then it goes on to the third point. I see how this is organized. And then they have examples of each. So that's the first way it's used, is if X is the case, then Y. However, it's only used usually if it was previously stated in the conversation or is known. And I believe both statements have to be positive, as in, if X is true, then Y. All right, and then the second way it's used is as for. So, noun nara establishes the noun as a topic by directly quoting the noun previously mentioned by someone else. So it directly quotes a noun previously mentioned by someone else. So, 桜病院はどこですか？桜病院ならあのビルの隣です。So it looks like this is just used for emphasis. Emphasis in context of the conversation. And then the third way it's used is noun nara in contrasting. The structure noun nara Y makes a statement about the noun in comparison to other items. Y usually takes a positive comment. So, 鉛筆貸してくれない？ごめん、持ってないんだ。ペンならあるんだけど。So, again, similarly used for emphasis or contrasting something. However, this seems more in line with, like it says, it's used for comparison, a contrasting comparison. So that's nara. So tomorrow we will work through at least the second paragraph. I will figure out where the vocabulary is in this list so we can read through it before we start the reading. I will look into some of these kanji, and I will set up my computer so that we can look up kanji as we go. Otherwise, I appreciate you for being here today. I know this was rough, but again, my goal with these is just to provide my raw, unfiltered thoughts going through, no cuts, and letting you see how I'm learning this, as well as allowing me to use it as a study resource in the future. So, see you next time.